Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goal Theory. Tonight we are looking at one of the most interesting matches in Group K, Portugal versus Uzbekistan at the FIFA World Cup 2026. And on the surface, this looks simple. Portugal are the giants. Uzbekistan are the newcomers. Portugal have the stars, the experience, the history, the Champions League quality, and the pressure of being one of the most talented squads in international football. Uzbekistan are playing on the biggest stage with something completely different: hunger, discipline, belief, and the freedom of a team that the world is not expecting to dominate. So the easy prediction is obvious. Portugal should win. But football does not always reward the obvious, because the World Cup has a way of exposing teams that think reputation is enough. It has a way of turning routine matches into uncomfortable nights. It has a way of asking questions that nobody wanted to answer. And that is why tonight's title matters. Portugal's World Cup test is hiding in plain sight. Not because Uzbekistan are secretly better than Portugal, but because Uzbekistan are exactly the type of opponent that can reveal whether Portugal are truly ready to go deep in this tournament. Can Portugal break down a compact defensive block? Can they turn possession into clear chances? Can they keep their structure while attacking? Can they avoid frustration if the first goal does not come early? Can they prove that this squad is not just talented, but balanced, ruthless, and tournament ready? That is the real story. This is not just Portugal versus Uzbekistan. This is Portugal versus pressure. Portugal versus expectation. Portugal versus the kind of game that every serious World Cup contender must win professionally. Before we go deeper, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Goal Theory for more tactical football analysis, World Cup breakdowns, team reviews, and stories that go beyond the obvious headlines. Because today, we are not just previewing a match, we are breaking down a hidden tactical trap. And by the end of this script, you may realize that Portugal's biggest danger tonight is not only Uzbekistan, it is the mistake of thinking this match is already solved. Portugal arrive with one of the most complete squads in the tournament. From back to front, they have quality everywhere. Their defenders are comfortable on the ball. Their midfielders can receive under pressure. Their wide players can beat opponents 1v1. Their forwards can score from half chances. Their bench is full of options that many national teams would build their entire system around. This is the modern Portugal. Not just a team built around one legendary name, a deep, technical, flexible squad capable of playing different types of football. They can dominate possession. They can attack quickly in transition. They can create overloads out wide. They can use combinations through the middle. They can score from set pieces. They can win through control, or they can win through individual brilliance. That variety is Portugal's biggest strength, but it also creates a very real challenge. When a team has this much attacking talent, the question becomes, what is the clearest idea? Because talent alone does not create control. Possession alone does not create danger, and dominance on paper does not guarantee dominance on the pitch. Portugal's opening draw against DR Congo was not a disaster, but it was a warning. It showed that Portugal can start well, look comfortable, and still allow the match to become complicated. That is the danger. At their best, Portugal look like a team that can control the ball for long periods, move opponents across the pitch, and slowly create pressure until the gap appears. But at their worst, they can become too comfortable, too patient without being sharp, too dominant without being decisive, too talented without being ruthless. And in World Cup football, that is a dangerous place to be. Because underdogs do not need 90 minutes of control. They need one moment, one poor pass, one slow defensive reaction, one second ball, one transition, one corner, one free kick, one moment when the favorite loses concentration. That is how tournament shocks begin, and Uzbekistan will know that. They will understand that Portugal are superior technically. They will understand that Portugal will probably have more possession. They will understand that the world expects them to suffer, but suffering is not the same as losing. A disciplined underdog can suffer with purpose. They can defend deep without panicking. They can allow possession without allowing clear chances. They can frustrate a stronger team, slow the rhythm, and make every passing minute feel heavier. That is Uzbekistan's route into the match. Not to outplay Portugal in open possession, but to make Portugal uncomfortable, to make the game narrow, to make the spaces small, to make the favorite feel the clock, to make the crowd sense tension, to make every missed chance matter. That is the hidden test. Portugal are not only being asked to beat Uzbekistan, they are being asked to beat the kind of resistance that serious tournament teams must learn to handle. Let's start with Portugal's strengths. Their first major strength is technical superiority. Portugal have players who can receive the ball in tight spaces, circulate possession, and control the rhythm of the game. Against a team like Uzbekistan, that matters because Portugal will likely spend long periods trying to break down a compact defensive shape. Bruno Fernandes is one of the key players here. He gives Portugal verticality. He is not the type of midfielder who simply keeps the ball safe forever. Bruno looks for the pass that changes the game. He wants to break lines. He wants to play early. He wants to find runners before the defense is set. That can be crucial against Uzbekistan, because when a defensive block is organized, sometimes you need a player who is willing to take risks. A clipped ball over the top, a first-time pass into the channel, a shot from the edge of the box, a quick switch before the opponent can shift across. Bruno can provide that. But there is also a danger. Risky passing can create transition moments. If Portugal lose the ball when their fullbacks are high and their midfield is stretched, Uzbekistan will try to break quickly. So Portugal need Bruno's creativity, but they need balance around him. Then there is Bernardo Silva. Bernardo is different. He is control. He is intelligence. He is rhythm. He can receive under pressure, move inside from wide areas, create passing triangles, and make the game feel calm. Against Uzbekistan, Bernardo's movement could be essential because he can help Portugal overload one side of the pitch, draw Uzbekistan across, and create space on the opposite side. If Uzbekistan allow Bernardo to receive between the lines, Portugal can begin to control the match properly, but if Uzbekistan keep him facing backward and deny him clean combinations, Portugal may become slower. That is one of the first tactical battles. Can Portugal's creative midfielders find space between Uzbekistan's midfield and defense? Or can Uzbekistan keep the lines tight enough to force Portugal wide? Because Uzbekistan will probably want Portugal to go wide. That is where many underdogs feel safer. They protect the middle, push the favorite outside, defend crosses, clear the ball, and reset. Portugal must avoid falling into that trap. Crossing is not bad. Portugal have players who can attack crosses. Cristiano Ronaldo remains a huge penalty box threat. Ruben Dias and other defenders can be dangerous on set pieces. But if Portugal's attack becomes only crosses, Uzbekistan will accept that. They will pack the box. They will defend first contact. They will fight for second balls. They will make Portugal repeat the same action again and again. Portugal need variety. They need cutbacks. They need low deliveries. They need diagonal runs. They need underlaps. They need quick combinations around the edge of the area. They need midfield runners arriving late. That is how you break a compact team. Not by doing one thing repeatedly, by making the defense solve different problems every few seconds. Portugal's second major strength is squad depth. If the first plan does not work, they have options. They can change the wide threat. They can alter the midfield balance. They can bring on fresh legs. They can increase the tempo. They can change the type of striker movement. They can add more directness or more control. That matters in a World Cup group stage match, especially if the game is still level after an hour. But depth only matters if the structure is right. Substitutions cannot solve everything if the team loses patience. Portugal must stay clear-minded. That is where the mental side becomes important. Portugal are not just playing Uzbekistan. They are playing the pressure of being Portugal. They are playing the noise after not winning their opening game. They are playing the expectation that they must respond. They are playing the pressure of knowing that a second poor result would make Group K much more uncomfortable, and pressure changes decisions. Players who normally stay calm can rush shots. Midfielders who normally wait for the right pass can force the ball. Fullbacks can push too high too early. Defenders can step out emotionally. The team can start chasing a goal instead of building one. That is exactly what Uzbekistan will want. They want Portugal to feel the match. They want Portugal to become impatient. They want Portugal to take low-quality shots, cross too early, and leave spaces behind. That is why Portugal's biggest weakness tonight may not be technical. It may be emotional control. Can they keep playing with purpose if the first goal does not come? Can they keep the tempo high without becoming chaotic? Can they keep attacking without leaving themselves open? That is the question. Now let's look at Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan's biggest strength is not superstar quality. It is clarity. They know they are the underdog. They know Portugal will dominate the ball. They know they will need to defend for long periods. That can actually make the game plan simpler. Stay compact. Protect central zones. Force Portugal wide. Attack the spaces behind the fullbacks. Use set pieces. Keep the match alive. That kind of clarity can be powerful. Many underdogs struggle when they try to play like the favorite. Uzbekistan cannot fall into that trap. They do not need to outpossess Portugal. They need to outlast Portugal's pressure and choose the right moments to attack. Their defensive shape will be critical. If Uzbekistan leave too much space between midfield and defense, Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva will punish them. If they defend too deep too early, Portugal will camp around the penalty area and the pressure will become constant. So Uzbekistan need balance. Compact, but not passive. Aggressive, but not reckless. Brave, but not open. That is difficult. But if they can manage it, Portugal may find the match much harder than expected. The key for Uzbekistan will be timing. They cannot press Portugal all over the pitch for 90 minutes. That would be dangerous. Portugal have the technical ability to play through pressure and expose gaps. Instead, Uzbekistan need pressing triggers. A backward pass, a loose first touch, a slow switch of play, a center-back receiving with his body closed, a midfielder facing his own goal. That is when Uzbekistan can jump, not constantly, but collectively. If one player presses and the rest do not follow, Portugal will escape easily. If the whole team steps together, they can force mistakes. And if Uzbekistan win the ball, they cannot waste it. That is the next challenge. Against Portugal, every counterattack matters. Uzbekistan may not get 10 chances. They may get 2 or 3 promising moments. They must treat those moments like gold. Eldor Shomurodov can be important because he gives Uzbekistan a focal point. When the team is under pressure, they need someone who can hold the ball, draw fouls, bring others into play, and help the team move up the pitch. Abusbek Fayzuliev can offer directness and creativity. Players like him matter in games like this because one brave carry, one quick combination, or one run into space can change the mood of the match. And defensively, Abdulkadir Kusanov could be central to the story. Against Portugal's attacking movement, defenders cannot only watch the ball. They must scan constantly. They must track Ronaldo's movement. They must follow runners. They must defend crosses. They must win second balls. They must stay composed when Portugal overload the box. That is a huge concentration test. For Uzbekistan, the biggest weakness is inexperience at this level. World Cup football is faster, harsher, and less forgiving than almost anything else. One mistake can become a goal. One moment of panic can change the match. One poor clearance can bring another wave of pressure. One unnecessary foul can become a dangerous free kick. Uzbekistan must stay emotionally stable. If they concede early, they cannot collapse. If they survive the first half, they cannot get carried away. If they create a chance, they cannot freeze. That is the difference between a brave performance and a famous performance. Now, tactically, the match may be decided in 5 key areas. The first key area is Portugal's tempo. If Portugal move the ball slowly, Uzbekistan will reset. If Portugal pass sideways without penetration, Uzbekistan will stay comfortable. Portugal needs speed, but not chaos. They need quick circulation with purpose. The ball has to move fast enough to shift Uzbekistan's block, but the players also need movement away from the ball. Passing alone does not break a defense. Movement breaks a defense. Portugal need players running behind. They need midfielders arriving late. They need wide players attacking inside. They need fullbacks overlapping at the right moments. If everyone wants the ball to feet, Uzbekistan can defend in front of them. If Portugal attack the spaces behind and between defenders, Uzbekistan will suffer. The second key area is the half spaces. This is where Portugal can hurt Uzbekistan. The half space is the zone between the wing and the center. It is where creative players can receive, turn, and either shoot, pass, or combine. If Bruno or Bernardo find those pockets, Portugal become dangerous. Uzbekistan must protect those zones, but protecting the half spaces usually means leaving space somewhere else. If they stay narrow, Portugal can go wide. If they shift wide, Portugal can play inside. That is the dilemma Portugal must create. The third key area is transition defense. This might be the most important part of Portugal's performance. When Portugal attack, their fullbacks may push high. Their midfielders may move close to the box. Their wide players may come inside. That creates attacking pressure, but it also creates space behind the ball. If Portugal lose possession and do not react immediately, Uzbekistan can counter. That is why Portugal's rest defense must be strong. Rest defense means the defensive structure a team keeps while attacking. It is not glamorous. It is not always obvious. But it is one of the most important details in modern football. Portugal must defend while they attack. They must keep players positioned to stop counters before they begin. The fourth key area is set pieces. Set pieces are one of the great equalizers in football. When a smaller team faces a technical giant, corners and free kicks become massive opportunities. Uzbekistan may not create many chances in open play, so every dead ball situation matters. Portugal must mark properly. They cannot be casual. They cannot assume that technical superiority protects them from a corner. At the same time, Portugal's set pieces can be a major weapon. With Ronaldo attacking the box, with strong defenders arriving from deep, and with quality delivery from Bruno, Portugal can create danger even if open play becomes difficult. One corner could change everything. The fifth key area is psychology, because football is not played only with feet. It is played inside minds. If Portugal score early, they relax. Uzbekistan open up. The game becomes easier. If Uzbekistan survive, they grow. Every block becomes belief. Every clearance becomes confidence. Every Portugal miss becomes pressure. Every minute at 0-0 changes the atmosphere. That is the emotional battle. And this is where Portugal must show maturity. Great teams do not panic when the match is not easy. They stay calm. They keep structure. They increase pressure. They make the opponent defend again and again until the mistake comes. Portugal must do that tonight, because Uzbekistan's plan will be to make the game feel longer for Portugal. They want Portugal to think too much. They want Portugal to force passes. They want Portugal to cross from poor areas. They want Portugal to leave space behind. So what should Portugal do? First, they must start with intensity, not arrogance. Intensity. The first 20 minutes matter. Portugal need to make Uzbekistan feel the level immediately. Quick passing, aggressive counter-pressing, early shots, sharp movement, strong duels. If Portugal begins slowly, Uzbekistan will settle. And once an underdog settles, the favorite's job becomes twice as hard. Second, Portugal must attack with variety. They cannot rely only on crosses. They need cutbacks, combinations, switches, diagonal runs, and shots from the edge of the box. Third, Portugal must use Ronaldo intelligently. Ronaldo's penalty box presence is still dangerous. His movement still attracts defenders. But Portugal cannot become predictable around him. They must use his gravity to open space for others. Fourth, Portugal must protect against counters. This is non-negotiable. If they lose the ball and Uzbekistan break into open space, the match changes. Fifth, Portugal must manage the emotion. If they score, they cannot relax. If they do not score early, they cannot panic. Now, what should Uzbekistan do? First, survive the opening wave. Portugal will want a response. Uzbekistan must stay compact and calm. Second, protect the middle. If Portugal break through centrally, Uzbekistan will struggle. They must force Portugal wide and defend the box. Third, attack the channels. The space behind Portugal's fullbacks is Uzbekistan's best route forward. Fourth, win set-piece moments. Corners, free kicks, and long deliveries could be their best chance to hurt Portugal. Fifth, believe. That may sound simple, but belief changes decisions. A team that believes runs harder. It attacks transitions with more courage. It takes the shot. It commits to the pass. It does not freeze when the chance comes. So what kind of match should we expect? Portugal should have more possession. They should create more pressure. They should spend more time in Uzbekistan's half. They are the stronger team, but the scoreline may not open immediately. If Portugal score early, this could become comfortable. If they do not, the match could become tense. And that is where the title comes alive. Portugal's World Cup test is hiding in plain sight, because this is exactly the type of game that tells us whether a talented team is becoming a serious tournament team. Can they solve a deep block? Can they stay balanced? Can they finish chances? Can they prevent counters? Can they handle expectation? For Portugal, this is not just about 3 points. It is about momentum. It is about authority. It is about sending a message that the opening draw was a warning, not a pattern. For Uzbekistan, this is about proving they belong. They do not have to dominate Portugal to earn respect. They have to compete. They have to make Portugal uncomfortable. They have to show discipline, courage, and belief. And if they can take something from this game, Group K becomes much more interesting. That is why tonight matters. Because World Cups are built on matches like this. The world thinks it knows the story. Then the underdog refuses to follow the script. Portugal are the better team. But being better is not enough. They must be sharper. They must be faster. They must be more disciplined. They must be more ruthless. Uzbekistan will not care about Portugal's reputation once the whistle blows. They will care about space. They will care about timing. They will care about survival. They will care about belief. And if Portugal give them hope, even for a moment, the match can become uncomfortable. So watch the details. Watch Portugal's tempo. Watch Uzbekistan's defensive spacing. Watch Bruno Fernandes between the lines. Watch Bernardo Silva's control. Watch Ronaldo's movement in the box. Watch the space behind Portugal's fullbacks. Watch the first set piece. Watch the first counterattack. Watch Portugal's reaction if the goal does not come quickly. Because the truth of this match will not only be in the possession numbers, it will be in the small things. The second ball, the recovery run, the defender stepping out, the midfielder tracking back, the pass before the assist, the underdog surviving one more attack, the favorite feeling one more second of pressure. That is football at the World Cup. One team is trying to confirm its status. The other is trying to announce its arrival. Portugal want control. Uzbekistan want opportunity. Portugal want to show they are contenders. Uzbekistan want to show they are not just participants. And by the end of 90 minutes, we may know much more than the final score. We may know whether Portugal are truly building towards something serious, or whether the first crack in their World Cup dream was hiding in plain sight all along. This has been Goal Theory. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe to Goal Theory, and tell me in the comments, do Portugal win comfortably, or can Uzbekistan make this a dangerous night? Because tonight, Portugal are not just facing Uzbekistan. They are facing pressure. They are facing expectation. They are facing the hidden tactical test that could define their tournament. And if they are not careful, the danger everyone ignored may become the story everyone remembers.